All right, let's do it. We're back, number 7 of the Roos Radar podcast, your home for all Socceroos news and or commentary, I would like to say. So without further ado, my name's Grant. Again, I'll be the host, so this one will pop off again. Coming in with Ollie again. Ollie, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I must say, I think my introductions are much better to the podcast. I think I bring more energy, really get people hooked. So I think that's something for you to work on, but yeah, hopefully you can improve on that throughout the episode, mate.
Yeah, right. Well, numbers never lie, so perhaps we'll just look at the numbers of the last pods that we've released. But you know, who knows? Maybe numbers do lie. Anyway, so without further ado, again, let's go for a little kit check. Ollie, what you got on?
I've got on 23-24 Real Madrid home kit. Bellingham on the back. Actually bought this in Madrid at the Madrid store. It's funny. If you ask me to wear my most expensive outfit or my most expensive top in my whole inventory, this would be it. So just goes to show how ridiculous things are getting in terms of costs these days. But yeah, pretty stoked with it. GB,
Yeah,
what about
yeah, right.
yourself?
Right. Well, luckily enough, I was able to grab a Liverpool 2018-19 shirt, obviously famous for or synonymous for the Champions League victory, midway through 19, which, matter of fact, brings me on to another topic, might I add, of the downfall of the loser in that game, which was Tottenham Hotspur. Now, you might think that this is unrelated to the Roos Radar. Well, that's where you're wrong. And let me tell you why. So, not long ago, perhaps, what was it, last year, at the end of last season, Tottenham Hotspur got rid of Ange Postecoglou.
What were they
What
thinking?
what a disaster. All right.
I mean,
Now here,
they only won him their first trophy in friggin' forever and then got rid of him. So not ideal.
absolutely. And let me run you through some utter rubbish, right? So let's go through their trophy honors. So last year they were able to win the Europa League, not one of the major trophies you would argue, but still, nonetheless, it's a trophy and it's well played to Spurs, right? Before that, I think their last trophy was the League Cup in 2007-8, right? A League Cup,
hmm hmm
okay, and then before that, what do we go? We go to FA Cup in 1991, right? Good on them. And first division title winner in 1961. So good on Spurs, right? Now this is where Ange comes from when he says that the Spurs have the title of being Spursy, right? Not winning trophies. Now along comes the Australian, the jolly good fellow, and what does he do? He wins him a trophy. And what do? They ice him. They stab him in the back and they say, "Thanks for coming. See you later," right? Not really sure why. Perhaps it's because they thought he was too good for the club. That's the only reason, I think, perhaps. But if we go into it, so since that Champions League loss in 2019, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 managers. 10 managers in what the space of what's not even
Basket
7
case.
years. Absolute basket case. And then you go to the fact that who have they lost? They've lost Harry Kane. They've lost Son. They've lost Dele Alli. They've lost Christian Eriksen. They've lost Hugo Lloris. They've lost Jan Vertonghen. They've lost Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier. You name it. Everyone's gone. And then along comes the Aussie, wins them something, gives them something to brag about for a couple of years. Out you go. What a disgrace.
Crazy. And where are they now, Grant?
Absolutely, where are they now? Thank you for bringing that up because you know what? We are currently running in its 18th spot on the ladder now. 18th spot in the Premier League. So I think
Mm,
we have 6 games to go and they're 2 points off safety, which is crazy. Spurs could be going down this year. I'd almost hope that they do go down as a that's what you get for getting rid of the Aussie. But let's have a look this
exactly right.
season, right? So they've gotten rid of him. They got kicked out of the round of 16, the Champions League, by Atletico Madrid. Rubbish, right? EFL Cup, they got knocked out in the 4th round to Newcastle United. Rubbish. They got knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup to Aston Villa. Rubbish. And they're struggling to stay afloat.
I mean, that's what
Absolute
happened
basket
when
case.
you get rid of an icon of Australian football. I mean,
Exactly right.
there's no argument to be had there. The proof's on the table. The proof's in the pudding. You get rid of Ange, your club goes to shit. Um, but yeah, we'll leave it at that, Grant, I think. But well done for bringing that up.
Yeah,
Shame on
yeah.
them. Shame on them.
Absolute shame on them. So I suppose I got a little carried away and distracted there, but we'll go back into what was planned for the week. So we'll go through a Socceroo Star of the Week, or maybe two, perhaps. We'll go through the player season updates, so around Europe, a little bit of a touch in on the A-League as well. And then perhaps we'll sprinkle in here and there a little bit of a who am I for this week. So hopefully the viewers can pick that one up before Ollie does, because he is useless, respectfully.
That's
Um,
crazy. That's crazy.
so straight off the bat, we'll run with hint number 1: 54 caps for the Socceroos. Okay, so let that simmer. That'll open up the mind's door for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
All right,
Hint number 2. He was born in Sydney.
let that simmer. Let that simmer in the background. Okie dokie. All right, so let's get into it. Socceroo Star of the Week, Ollie. What are you throwing forward?
So pretty much, we're going to go with Paddy Yazbek. I'm a big fan of him, actually. Pretty much in the MLS, as we know, playing for Nashville. It's only the start of their season, but he has started the season very well. Um, for the Socceroos, he plays in, that central midfield position, more of a deep lying player, and he kind of is the same thing for Nashville as well. But he does tend to get, just naturally, the way their formation works, he tends to get a lot higher throughout the game. So he's got a couple of goals this season already. But in a game this weekend against Charlotte, um, he received an 8.8 rating from that match, um, coming out with a goal and an assist in a 90-minute performance, at 91% passing accuracy and 100% shot accuracy, because that's just what the Socceroos do. Um, but the assist came in the 14th minute. He pretty much has the ball on the edge of the opposing box. He draws in two defenders, and just kind of lays the ball off for his teammate in the midfield, who I must say scores an absolute freaking banger. Top bins. I think he was a Norwegian bloke. Shades of that Busquets assist for Messi, where Busquets just literally lays it off for him, and Messi beats like 4 plays and does the whole goal himself. But hey, we take the assist. We take the assist for Paddy Yazbek. But the goal, lovely goal, I must say, comes in the 62nd minute. So he picks up the ball in his own half, pretty much drives all the way, dribbles to the opposing box on the right-hand side, takes a shot looking to go across the goal. It does catch a pretty mean deflection, and ends up in kind of like the bottom left. But I mean, you could only assume that if it didn't catch that deflection, it was going top bins where the spiders live anyway. So we weren't looking to that too much either. But pretty much, with the help of that performance from Yazbek, that leaves Nashville top of the Eastern Conference by 3 points. They've only played 7 games in the MLS so far, but top by 3 is very good signs early on for Paddy Yazbek. And for me, I would have liked to have seen him more in the recent Socceroos games. He did get some minutes off the bench, but I don't know. He seems to be able to offer more going forward, at least for the moment, than an Aidan O'Neill.
I would
So,
agree.
is that what we're looking for, or are we looking for that, kind of ever reliable, more defensively focused player like O'Neill? I think that's probably the case that's what Popovich is looking for. But he's a bit of an unknown, this Yazbek. He can get forward and be dangerous as well. Big body as well, very big body. So
Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to struggle too much with the physicality side of things. But yeah, that was the first Socceroo Star of the Week, Paddy Yazbek. I'm liking this guy.
Mm. Well, like Ollie said, we're going to hit you with 2 this week for a bit of a change. Obviously, because there's never a shortage of Socceroos that can be featured in the Socceroo Star of the Week. Obviously,
Exactly right. And there are some
So
honorable mentions as well that missed out. So, th
absolutely.
this is a rigorous kind of selection process that we've got to go through every week. It really plays on our minds, this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never easy. We often feel sorry for the ones that don't get the Socceroo Star of the Week, as a prestigious award as it is. And, there can only be one, maybe two each week.
And these players would be obviously extremely disappointed to miss out. The
That's,
recognition, the kind of prestige that this award comes with, they'd definitely be devastated to miss out on this. Go ahead, Grant. Who's the second Socceroo Star of the Week?
it's funnily enough one of my favorites of the last few years, and somewhat of a polarizing figure in certain Socceroos spheres, and that is Mitchy Duke, the ever reliable, the ever ready bunny Mitchell Duke. In keeping in the theme of Easter right now at time of recording, is he reviving his Socceroos career? You know, it seemed to
Could
be
be,
dead and
could be.
buried. Definitely seemed to be dead and buried, kind of, walking off into the sunset. But has he revived it with a double against tabletop in Newcastle? He did get his move back to the A League with MacArthur, our favourite team, and so far he seems to have been settling in relatively slowly, but perhaps finding form at the right time. So, interesting part though is that he said he would retire from international footy after this upcoming World Cup. So I think that means he's waiting for a call. Now, I personally would be all for it. I don't know about you, Ollie.
Um, I mean, like given the options that we've got currently, you've got Toure, who for me will kind of start. But we've been just experimenting with other players. Nesta played up top in the recent games, and then Suto and Juric came in to give to kind of show what they can do. For me, like Mitch Duke is not a bad option to have.
Hmm,
He can come on late, um, fresh legs, and he can snag a goal late on. Definitely, I think.
absolutely.
Obviously, yeah, very very physical and kind of bases his game around winning headers, controlling the ball, laying off, and then progressing forward once he's laid the ball off to his midfielders or whoever. So I don't mind the idea.
And speaking of being a big aerial threat, who could forget the Tunisia game at the last World Cup? Absolute famous goal, 67th minute. Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
who can forget?
yeah, like we said, I think he offers a lot, and he's definitely one of those guys that if he's there, he will definitely do a job for you, whatever you ask him. He will run all day, work his socks off. So I think he fits the bill perfectly. So for me, he'd be on the plane. But like we said a couple of days ago against the Jets, 10th minute turning little half volley, and then 23rd minute lovely footed cross for an assist. I was of the opinion he had two goals.
He did, mate.
So
If you had have read on these notes previous, you would understand that the 10th minute was the half early turning goal. The 23rd was a beautiful left-footed cross into the middle of the box there. And then in the 67th minute, he actually scored what was a carbon copy header to the Tunisia goal that you previously mentioned and made a mistake on there. But it was
yeah,
pretty much the exact same goal he scored against Tunisia he scored last weekend against the Jets. So look, for those at home who are kind of playing along with the whole, rivalry, who should be hosts, who shouldn't be, I think I get an extra point there. So just keep that in mind, folks.
I generally don't like giving Ollie points, but I think he's got me there, so that's a little bit embarrassing for the can't tell if my face is red or not. But we move. We definitely move. I'll work that one back. That's fine. Anyway, we do have some honourable mentions. So we have Mo Toure. I think we mentioned this last pod, perhaps, but 2 assists in 45 minutes, which is outstanding. I think he's really settled in to Norwich, but bar that little injury that he had, and might even be staking a claim to be one of the most informed strikers in the championship. So good on him. I think he settled in nicely. We also had Nesta scoring another goal for Watford, and Alex Robertson again with another assist for Cardiff. So all round good performances from the Roos boys across Europe, and featuring in Australia as well. So hold us in good stead for the upcoming World Cup, which is approximately 62 days away.
Coming close.
Fantastic.
Coming up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we'll end that there for the Socceroo Stars of the week. And we'll head over to our end of season wrap ups. So basically, we thought we'd kind of give everyone a little bit of an insight as to where everyone stands at the moment. So obviously, we're coming to the end of the season now, or club footy. I know for the Premier League, we've got 6 games left. So everyone's kind of in and around that, last handful of games to play remaining. So, we thought we'd cover whether that means promotions,
Hey, that's another
promotions,
point to Ollie.
promotions, relegations, European footy, anything like that. So, Ollie, kick us off, if you will, without kind of messing up any words.
All right, pressure's on now. So
Mm,
obviously Riley McGree, playing in the championships for Middlesbrough. Um, so at the moment they're sitting fourth. So with even the potential to drop down to fifth, because Southampton have a game in hand. They've been in a recent kind of slump in form. So they haven't won in the last 6 games. So they've had 3
mm,
losses and 3 draws. And prior to those last 6 games, they were actually in second place after 36 games played. So they have 4 games remaining, including one against Ipswich, who are in second, as well as one against Watford, obviously, which is a matchup there with Irukunda. But as many people would know, you do need to be in the top 2 of the championship for automatic promotion into the Prem. If not, the Middlesbrough will likely finish in that 3 to 6 range, which is the range you need to be in to get into the playoffs, which pretty much involves a semi-final, 2-legged. And if you win those or come out on top in those, you end up in a single match final at Wembley for that last promotion spot. So, this recent slump in form has not been good. So I don't know. It's looking like the most likely scenario is they'll be involved in some playoff games. So yeah, we just really need to hope that for Riley McGree's sake, that they can get the job done. Um, yeah, but Toure at Norwich, Grant, what's going on with him?
mm. So Norwich are currently sitting in ninth. So the funny thing about that is there's only 3 points separating ninth and 16th, which is, they're kind of in the log jam, I suppose, if you call it mid-table in the championship. So obviously not ideal, but I think it's safe to say that if our boy was fit through the last couple of weeks, they obviously would be somewhere near the top, the summit of the league. So obviously that's no point, throwing shade at Mo, because if Mo was there, they would be doing much better. So,
Very good
what can
point,
you do?
Grant. Very
Absolutely.
good
So
point.
similar to Borough, they got 4 games remaining. So I haven't crunched many numbers, but I'm not sure if they can get to that kind of to sixth spot, that playoff spot. But I suppose, no, can they? Do you know?
Hold that thought, Grant. Keep yapping.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Ollie comes back with. But in the meantime, we've got Nestori in Irukunda for Watford in 12th spot. So similar to Norwich, they're kind of in that log jam in the middle. Can go up and down quite quickly. So there's a little bit of jeopardy in those 2 teams for the boys, but whether or not there's too much going on at the top or the bottom, yet to be seen. Ollie, do you have any
Yeah.
info for that?
Yeah, quick maths here on the fly. Norwich and
Quick
Torrey
math.
can get into the top 6, but it's very highly unlikely. So they're 10 points behind. As we said, there's 4 games remaining, so you need 12 points. So yeah,
Mm,
very unlikely scenario. Um,
well, I suppose start our boy and perhaps see what happens.
exactly right. Exactly
Mm,
right.
mm.
Um, Big Harry Suits, one of my favorite players. Um, the good news was that he was in the Leicester squad for the first time in a very long time.
Fantastic.
Over the weekend. We know he's been training, obviously, with the squad, doing full training for probably nearing 2 months now.
Yeah.
Wasn't selected in the recent Socceroos squad because, we just thought it was safer and that he continue his rehab program at Leicester. But unfortunately, Leicester currently sitting in 17th place. Um, obviously has 4 games remaining, like the other championship sides. Um, 17th place Portsmouth, featuring he who must not be named, Adrian Segicic. They have 1 game in hand, I believe, um, on the 15-16 Premier League winners. So again, not looking good for Leicester at the moment. But yeah, hopefully, either they can kind of drag themselves out of that situation, or Big Harry Suits can get a cheeky little transfer, maybe. That would be
Well,
ideal. But
I believe I've got a point here because I think
oh,
that
you're kidding.
I've got him. I've
Go
got
on.
him. I believe that he said that Leicester are currently 17th, which is not correct.
Okay,
They
go
are
on.
in fact 18th with 17th placed Portsmouth above,
Yeah,
having one
right.
game in
So that
hand on
I'd argue
on.
that uh, I'd argue that wasn't very clear in your notes. So you've kind of you've sabotaged me here. Um, you've definitely sabotaged me.
Better luck next
Um,
time, buddy.
yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, as I said, hopefully Big Harry Suits can kind of drag himself out of that, get a transfer, whatever he needs to do, because we need him playing regularly and as highly up the leagues as we can. But as we know, as we mentioned earlier, had Big Harry Sutar been fit and not injured for the last entire season, we're pretty sure that Leicester would have topped the league and been promoted to the Premier League. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, not much of an argument to be had there. But
Also, just quietly,
Roberts
what
and
a fall
oh,
from
sorry,
grace
go on.
again. What a fall from grace for Leicester. Absolutely. Like you
Bit of a
said,
fall from
15,
grace
16
that.
Premier League winners and on the verge of going down to League One. What a shock.
Hmm. Definitely not ideal. But as I said, that's not the fault of Harry Sutar, is it?
No,
It's the fault of those friggin' other players in the squad. Anyway,
absolutely.
Robertson Grant, what's going on with him and Cardiff?
Cardiff sitting at second spot in League One, so 10 points in front of third with a game in hand, which is fantastic. So that's obviously not a sure thing, but you'd argue that they won't be going any lower than second. However, they are 12 points behind first place, which is a little bit saddening. But basically, we'll be getting promotion, all but certain. So fantastic if Robbo stays in the squad for Cardiff. Obviously, he'll be looking for a better move because he's better than that. He should be in the Premier League, perhaps the Liga, or somewhere where there's more quality opposition because he deserves that. But nevertheless, very good for Cardiff City and Alex Robertson.
I mean, personally, I think he should be starting for Real Madrid at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think that's a stretch at all.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I will say, Grant, that is how you put some good notes together for your fellow um, Bruise Radar host. So, but we'll move on. We'll move on to Geordie Boss. Um, they are currently obviously playing at Feyenoord. He is in second behind PSV, who are 19 points ahead in the league. So PSV have already won the league.
Crazy.
So obviously, yeah, it's already been decided. No chance of winning that, but still having a very good season himself personally, Geordie Boss. Um, so for Champions League European footy, they need to lock in that top 2 spot because that's who goes through to Champions League. There's 4 games remaining. 3 of them are easier games, but they do have 1 game against AZ Alkmaar, who are one of the better sides in the league. So they're only sitting 1 point ahead of third, and 2 points ahead of fourth at the moment. So definitely a race to keep eye on come the end of the season. GB, talk to me about our St. Pauli boys, Jackson Irvine, Connor Metcalf.
A little bit of a funny one here with St. Pauli in the Bundesliga. So they are, in fact, third last with the bottom 2 going down. So obviously not ideal. However, I would like to reiterate, Jacko's been out for a long, long time. and Connor Metcalf has been in and out of the squad. So, like we've been saying, if our boys are playing, we won't be in these spots. And I think
Exactly right.
more so being like blindly naive. It's more actual numbers. If we're not playing, our teams are towards the low, like the bottom of the table. It's facts. So, anyway, 4 points above relegation, which is okay, but they haven't won in their last 5 games, which is alarming. So obviously it's going to be a real dogfight to stay up, and we hopefully will stay up. But they do have 5 games remaining, including a final day relegation contender with Wolfsburg. So that will be that probably will be the decider when you think about it. And the second last game will be Leipzig. Leipzig, as we know, one of the powerhouses in the Bundesliga. So a tough little run home for our boys in St. Pauli. But hopefully they do well. But in saying that, if they do fail to lose, you say they lose the last 3 or 4, perhaps we just don't play Jacko or Connor, and we just ice them for the World Cup, because there's more important things than keeping some random German club up. Perhaps.
I mean, exactly right. But I know you
Mm.
mentioned falls from grace before with Leicester, but how about Wolfsburg? I mean,
Mm.
they used to be, kind of a powerhouse in that 2010s period. Guys like Julian Draxler, Naldo, Maximilian, some kind of names I remember from the good old FIFA days.
Don't
But
forget
yeah,
Divock Origi.
Divock Origi, I mean,
Divock.
all-time great, at least for Liverpool. Not so much for Milan. Pretty sure he came to Milan, played a few games, and then was pretty much just fat, overweight, for the next 2 years whilst getting paid millions of dollars a season. So
That's
that's good.
also an odd one, because I remember Jurgen Klopp saying he was the best finisher at the club when he was there.
And maybe that's what he was saying, just to make a silly club like Milan pay for someone like that. But
Perhaps.
anyway, let's not get too worked up.
No.
Matty Ryan playing for Levante in La Liga. Um, he's been like, one of the better goalkeepers in the league, despite
Mm.
them being in a relegation battle. Um, so they do have one game in hand. They are 7 points um, away from being safe from relegation. So they're currently in relegation spot. They're 7 points behind being safe, but they do have one game in hand. So if they win that, I think it's against Getafe tomorrow morning. At the time of recording, they will be only 4 points away from being safe. But again, it's going to be a struggle regardless. So they've got 7 games remaining, including against a struggling Sevilla. But let's say things do continue to go pear-shaped for Levante. He has been good enough that he has attracted interest from Celtic and Club Brugge. So I'm sure we're going to see Matty Ryan at another huge club, which is been a theme of his career. One season at bloody Arsenal, one season at Brighton, one season at friggin' Copenhagen, one season at where else was he? AZ Alkmaar, I think. The guy's had a
It's been
crazy,
at
crazy career.
Roma, Sociedad,
Roma,
Brighton,
yeah.
Valencia.
I mean, what a life just quietly. The
Yes,
bloke's playing
absolutely.
football for a living and pretty much lives in a new country every friggin' season. Sounds incredible to me.
Humble
Um,
beginnings on the Central Coast as well.
so humble beginnings, and we
Mm.
all. I mean, I can't get enough of the guy. Absolute freaking specimen, just quietly. Have you like I've seen him in real life with the kid off, mate. Absolute specimen. Let me tell you.
All right. Settle down, pal.
Yeah. All
Settle
right.
down.
Sorry.
But
Can we definitely
just
go on,
quietly,
Grant?
no, on Matty, the stats in front of me, more saves than 84% of the keepers in La Liga. So,
Mm-hmm.
what else have we got? He's had more saves than 66%, or penalty saves than 66% of the keepers in La Liga. Has had 0 errors leading to goals in La Liga. We won't talk about that one in the last World Cup, but none this year in La Liga, and has made 103 saves, which is more than 85% of other keepers in La Liga. So stats wise, he's performing quite well. Average rating of 6.9, so around that 7 to 8 rating, consistently. So what is he? 34 years old, and he's still going.
All
But
right, sweet.
anyway, we definitely move on to Cam Devlin. So with Hearts, they're still top
Another
of
bloody
the
rally.
Scottish Premier League. It's still top. So they're 1 point in front of Rangers and 3 in front of Celtic. So obviously very, very congested at the top. And I believe it will be somewhat of a shock. And what's the phrase? Can't really pick the phrase off the top of my head, but it would be quite a story if Hearts were able to win the Scottish Prem.
You saved that.
Um,
That was going to be another point rally, but you saved that. Well done.
I did save that. So I can't remember, Ollie, if you want to do some number crunching, the last time a team other than Celtic or Rangers won the Scottish Prem. That would be
Put me on the spot here. You keep yapping.
a good little stat to include. But to go into the UCL qualifications, and third and fourth go into the Europa League spots. So the last 5 games, where the ladder split into two groups, and they only now play teams in the top 6 on the ladder each once. So make of that what you will. I have no idea who wrote those notes, but that is absolute rubbish.
It's a bit of an
Uh,
interesting format. I don't know why they do it like that over there. Um, but yeah, they do kind of split the league up into top and bottom for the last 5 games or something. And then those teams in the top will play each of the teams in the top 6. So you play against the 5 other teams in the top. And then at the end of that, the kind of winners and placings are determined. It's very, I don't know, it's a very unique way they do things in Scotland.
so
I'm not really sure.
it's almost like a final series, is it? Like with
Yeah,
first past the post still.
it's kind of like a weird final series, but yeah, first past the post. So yeah, very, very kind of interesting stuff. But I've done a little bit of ChatGPT here. The last team other than Celtic or Rangers to win the Scottish top division was in 84-85 season, won by
Wow.
Aberdeen. So
Wow.
Cam Devlin is on the precipice of doing something truly incredible here.
So what's
Um,
that? 40 years. 40 bloody
mm,
years. And
mm,
by all reports, one of the integral parts of that midfield, which is absolutely outstanding.
yeah. So, I mean, what a luxury we have in the midfield for the Socceroos, Yeah, Cameron Devlin didn't even get selected for that last squad. Let's say he
Mm.
goes and wins the league with Hearts. To have that selection challenge is a luxury for us. So, I think he has to be there, but it's obviously going to be tricky to have him in if Popovich hasn't seen him before. So,
Well, that's an odd
yeah,
one, no, because like we've mentioned in previous pods, I think he's been injured for a little while, but he came back before the last window, and I don't think Popper mentioned him in the actual presser talking about the squad selection, which is an odd one, because like
mm,
we've said a number of times, it feels like he's been on fire and one of the top performers in Scotland. So he's definitely been on our radar, which is obviously saying a lot because we're all over everything. Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. So a bit of a head scratcher. So hopefully he's on the plane. He'd be on the plane if I was selecting it. And
Well, we might have to give Popper a call here, Grant. We might have to
we
say, hey, listen here, Popper. We know you're a friend of the show. We know you really respect our opinion. And here is our opinion. Our opinion is that Cammy Devlin should be on the plane.
absolutely. Or perhaps if we drop a little phone number or perhaps a link, maybe he can just drop in and join the pod next week. Perhaps I don't know. Maybe we're asking too much, but
I don't think that's too much to ask at all. I mean, at the end of the day, we're averaging probably 40 views on YouTube each episode. So I think we've kind of earned the right to have the national team head coach on the pod.
you'd almost argue to be un-Australian if he declined it. So, but anyway, we
Let's
move.
get those are strong words. All right, settle down.
We move.
Um,
I'll take it back.
Aiden Hrustic, playing in the Eredivisie. Unfortunately, another relegation battle for him with Hercules. Um, they're 8 points away from safety with 4 matches remaining, so it is looking quite unlikely that they're going to stay up. So yeah, probably going to see his team go down. What does that mean for him? Not too sure. But just a quick one there. Um, Jakarta, um, obviously playing at Parma in the Serie A. They're kind of mid-table, so they're sitting in 14th. They had a good performance this morning against Napoli, from all reports, in a 1-1 draw against the likes of Hoyland, De Bruyne, so those kind of names. But yeah, 6 matches remaining, and a couple of them are tricky ones as well. You've got a game against Inter, a game against Roma, and a game against Como. But yeah, safe for next season.
Well,
So yeah,
like you
always
mentioned,
want to see our
against
guys playing
Napoli,
in the top.
against Napoli this morning, Napoli had 74% of the ball, and still didn't manage to score anything more than 2 goals. So I think our boy got a 6.9 or a 7 rating. So obviously all down to our boy in the middle.
Oh,
What have we got here? 12 defensive contributions, 1 tackle, 2 blocks, 7 clearances. You're not getting through him. So as we
not bad.
say, common feature, statistics and numbers never lie. We'll keep
Hmm.
telling you. What have we got now? A little bit of an A-League wrap. So we'll switch it up. We'll move away from Europe because Europe isn't everything. Obviously, when we talk about Socceroos, might be a little bit more classy in terms of the competition, this and that. But nevertheless, we move to the A-League. So we've got Craig Gooders, ever reliable. I don't think he's featured for a little while. He'd definitely be in and around the squad for me. But with Adelaide sitting fourth, 7 points off top, with 2 games remaining. So obviously they can't win. They're a little bit too far away. But Paul Ocon at Sydney FC, currently 3rd place, the same as Adelaide United. Not going to reach the top. Nishan Valupale with the Melbourne Victory in 5th. Aziz Bayic, scorer, by the way, in the most recent game for Melbourne City. Also featuring Jamie McLaren, another former Socceroo. They're in 6th place. And Mitch Duke, of course, for MacArthur FC in 7th. So obviously a few bigger names and maybe a few fringe players running around in the A-League. But I think Newcastle are running away with it at the top. So, and perhaps I think we mentioned before, little old MacArthur Bull Lockie Rose doing a little bit of bits for tabletopping Newcastle in terms of in front of goal. So, maybe a smoky come the World Cup for Lockie Rose.
Yeah. I think if all things go to plan, out of those players we mentioned,
Mm,
or you mentioned just then, so the likes of Ocon, Bayic, Duke, Pelupele, Goodwin, all of those guys, again, if things go to plan, could be playing in finals A-League footy. So you need to obviously be in the top 6 to make the finals.
mm,
MacArthur are just sitting outside that. So they're 4 points behind Melbourne City.
mm.
So yeah, hopefully we see as many of our mighty Socceroos playing in the A-League finals, which is coming up very soon. So I'll have to wait and see. But that'll do us pretty much, Grant, for the update
Yeah.
on our Socceroos at Clubland, where their clubs are sitting, what that means for next season, promotion, relegation, holding still, and finals. So we
Mm.
hope that's updated everyone, and given everyone a little bit of a snapshot into what to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. Definitely some interesting games coming up.
Definitely, definitely. But I suppose we'll move into another few little more clues, should we? For
Hmm.
our who are we? Who am I suppose you should say. Now, what did we say before? We had 54 caps for the Socceroos, and we
Hmm.
had born in Sydney. Now, I'm going to hit you with one. Played with, drum roll, Emil Heskey.
Okay. Okay.
A bit
And
left of field.
bit left of field. Bit left of field. Me and Grant both do know the answer, but this is for the people at home, right?
Mm,
So we want you to give us or tell us in the comments on whatever you're listening
absolutely.
to. What hint did you get the answer correct? All right. So we've given 3 hints so far. 54 caps, born in Sydney, played with Emil Heskey. So have a think. But hint number 4, he also played with Kaká, the one, the only.
The
The
one, the
one, the
only.
only. All right, that's hint number 4, folks. Hint number 4. Great. Give us hint number 5.
Another played against this time. Zlatan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Zlatan
One of the
Ibrahimovic.
goats.
One
One
of
of the
the
goats.
goats.
I mean, you talk about one of the goats, Grant. You talk about one of the goats. Hit number 5, or hit number 6, I should say. He played against Paolo Maldini. I mean, come on. Come on. This is what the Socceroos
These
do.
are
They
some
play against players like this.
all-time names. This.
All time. All time. Grant, going for
And
hint
of
number
course,
7.
like you mentioned, we are in that conversation, obviously, and we've earned the right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now, he has been involved in the coaching staff for Sydney United on 2 different occasions, 2 different tenures.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not only successful on the field, but is somewhat transitioning into, kind of a youth coaching role off the field. So let that ponder.
Okay. Okay. Next hint, I believe, hint number 8. He won the Champions League and the Dutch Cup while also having played in the English Championship.
Now,
Mm.
what does that tell you? He's been bloody all over the shop.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. This is
All
a top
over
class
the
player
shop.
here, folks. Top class player. JB, give
Now,
us the final hint.
perhaps one of the most telling. So people might be familiar with the little odd name of Graham Arnold. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this because it's not necessarily Socceroos, but Graham Arnold is actually coaching Iraq, who I believe qualified for the World Cup. Did they not?
Yes, they just recently did in the
They
playoff.
did. They did, in fact. And who do you reckon the goalkeeping coach was?
Okay, so you're telling me the goalkeeping coach for Iraq.
Correct.
Okay, folks. Okay, I mean, it's pretty obvious now, Grant. Tell me who is our Who Am I for this
Drum
episode?
roll, please, everyone. We have Jelko Kalatz.
Okay,
Now,
okay. The spider, Grant,
now
the spider.
the spider. Now, there is a little bit of conjecture and a little bit of controversy between the 2 hosts of the Ruse Radar as to the pronunciation. I'm pretty sure that I'm right. Obviously, having Croatian roots.
-1.
A nice one. And having showed Ollie a tangible pronunciation book, but he still believes that I pronounced it wrong. So,
Yeah, I
go
mean,
on.
I'm going with Kalach, so kind of a TCH at the end is my pronunciation, just because that's the way I've said it all my life. And when Grant was arguing otherwise, I did look up highlights, and that's how they were saying it too. But let's not get too mad at each other, Grant, like we were before the pod. People don't want to see that.
All right. Well, perhaps we'll move on, but fancy being wrong for your entire life. Anyway, so leave in the comments perhaps who was right, who was wrong, and if you've got any other little facts about Joko Kalatz that we might have missed. There's plenty of other players that we could have chosen for played with and against, but we thought those might have been obscure enough and maybe challenging enough to give the viewers a little bit of a game. So. If I am correct, that might be all we've got. But before we sign off, before we talk about what we're going to do next week, as per being the host, I was tasked with letting the listeners know that we are actually able to go through different chapters on our pod. In different streaming sections, so such as YouTube, such as Spotify, you can in fact use the chapter feature. And we can, fast forward you to some of the good content. If perhaps you don't want to listen to us waffle on about something else, maybe you can find something a little bit quicker. So, this is a high production and very, very high value podcast. So, we're all about making it more intuitive and enjoyable for the listeners. Perhaps waffling on a bit again too much, but yeah, we move. We definitely
Yeah,
love.
we love a bit of waffle here. I mean, when it comes to Socceroos, we can waffle all day. So nothing wrong with a bit of waffling. But yeah, I think you redeemed yourself, Grant. Well done on hosting the pod today. Yeah,
Thanks,
minus a
mate.
couple of points there, but I think you pulled it back on a couple of other occasions as well. So well done.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And what a guest, or what a co-host you have been. So fantastic.
You
Props to
demoted
you.
me to guest. Okay,
That
that's pretty
wasn't on
crazy.
purpose. That wasn't on purpose. I just didn't escape me what the opposite was from host, but I suppose co-host is it'll do. But what to look forward to for next week? I was just thinking perhaps we could do another injury room. Because like we've spoken about, there's been a few people coming back, a few people maybe getting into the medical room at the moment. So maybe we can do a little bit of an update with that. But obviously stay tuned to see what happens next week. Also, while we're on it, I suppose leave us a little comment if you think we can do anything better or if you think something's going all right.
Yeah, I will only take the positive comments, not the negative ones. No, just kidding. But definitely any engagement we can get, likes, comments, subscribe, follows, share, favorite, whatever it is you need to do to make this pod grow, do it, please. We beg. But Grant, we are, as we've discussed before, Grant, our end goal is to end up with 27 million Socceroos fans
Correct.
because there are 27 million of us in this beautiful country. Not quite hitting those numbers yet, Grant, but we do plan on doing that and reaching that goal eventually. So that's why we need as much help as
Absolutely.
we can get from the Roos Radar diehard fans here.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, we're trying to rally the troops and get to 27 million fans for the Socceroos. Not necessarily us, because we don't care about us. We just care about the nation as a whole. And we care about the way that we're moving in terms of football. But currently, 24 subscribers on YouTube, baby. So we're only 6 zeros away from what we need to be for
Mm-hmm.
for country. So
Mm-hmm. Go start somewhere, Grant.
got to start somewhere. It's humble beginnings. Like we said, 62 days out. Let's use these 62 days well, and let's get those fans up. All right. Anything else, buddy, old pal?
No, that's it. I think episode 7 done and dusted. Roos Radar Potty. Signing off. See you guys next week.
Signing off.